Sawadee Cap. So I've gotten into the habit, today for the first day. I followed up with my thing about making separate videos for different stuff other than the positive action plan, because I was getting 12-minute and 18-minute positive action plans that related to the positive action plan book, 2 minutes of it. And what was happening was some people were not really interested in the book and hearing the positive action plan, but they wanted to see what was going on, what my life and what the cost of things are and everything in Thailand, which was the original focus of the channel. So combining the two didn't work for either group, the ones who were just interested in the information on daily life and the ones who were interested in just the positive action plan. I wasn't really helping either group out. So as of last night, today, whatever, I started separating them. So as you know, I've got my little kindergartner flashcards with pictures to help me learn the language. And it's a daunting test because there's 87 characters, right? 44 consonants and 43 vowels. So a lot harder to learn than 26 letters in the alphabet. And there are some variations in our alphabet. For instance, the letter A. Let's start with the beginning. Sometimes it's a hard A and sometimes it's a soft A, right? There's different tones depending upon the context. So obviously they have the same thing in Thai with those tones I talked to you about. And the little guy, the G-A-I-G-U-Y, the guy, or pronounced Gaw-Gai, as when you talk about the letter guy when it's the chicken, right? Gaw-Gai. It has that little, see, they're showing you that that's a mid tailing off at the end a little bit, and that's a mid going way down. So that's the start, middle, and low for guy, and it's just middle for Gaw. So that's the tone thing I talked about, the mid-tone, the high tone, the falling, rising. Also, they have something here where it's blue, and it's called a mid-consonant, and this is red, and that's a high consonant, and then there's a low consonant. So I'll have to figure that out. And then I'm just into like 7 cards, right? 8, 9. I looked at 9 cards this morning, and I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to try it. But man, here's the deal. This is a bottle, quad, bottle, and this is egg. You see them simple enough. So just like chicken is guy, egg is kai, K-A-I, kai. But the letter is both kai, egg, and kai, which is the letter. Look at the difference between those two. It's just this little dip right here, right? So look at it now, small. Can you really see that dip in it? It's tiny. And if you look at Thai writing down here, that's how it appears, like in most things. So looking down here at this size letter, can you really tell the difference between this and this when it's that size writing? Which, in a book or a menu or whatever, there's a lot of times I see writing that size. And how the hell are you going to see that dip? The only time you can see it is here when they make the letter huge. You can see that little V. So I cannot tell the difference between Kaw Kai and Kaw Quad, bottle or egg. I guess I need to memorize them, learn it, and then just look for context clues and say, does the egg letter or the bottle letter make sense in that context? Fun. So then, no sooner do I get over that than I get into these. And once again, this is a low consonant because it's gold. So this is person, kon, and kwai, water buffalo. Person, water buffalo. Same thing. The only difference between these two is that little V shape in the middle, like a Gibson headstock, the little book, they call it a open book page, a little dip. And can you see down here the difference between, this and this? I mean, that dip is more pronounced than on the other one, on the red one. But down here, I can't see if there's a friggin' dip in there. I mean, you get a goddamn magnifying glass, and I wouldn't be able to tell which one of those two it is, except for context, between a person and a water buffalo. What's the sentence about? And then, this, it's just, you got to draw this letter, call, Rakang. Now, that one I actually like because I'm thinking Rakang is like clang, and it's bell. Ring the bell, Rakang, call, Rakang. But just, okay, you're going to write this, and you're going to go down, up, loop around, go up, do the dip, come down, and do a circle. It's a lot to do for a fucking letter, right? But wait, there's more. Snake, or snake, as Thai people say. For some reason, they always put an A after an S. So when I get steak down in Rimping or back row, I get New Zealand steak. She says, I said, what do you want for dinner? She says, satake, right? So this is snake in Thai. And it's Ngau Ngoo. So Nagao Nagu, right? Because that's how it's written phonetically. Or make the G silent and go Naw, because I've learned from Caw that AU is aw, like AW, not ow, right? So I said to her, Naw, Nu, making the G silent. So spelled Nagaw, Nagu, I thought pronounced silent G, Naw, Nu, and it's Nyaw, New. In other words, like NYAW would be the first word. So it's spelled NGAU, and that, believe it or not, is pronounced NYAW. So that's that symbol, which is actually pretty simple, check mark with a circle on the top. That one I could remember, as opposed to the bell where you're going down, up, left, right, circle, go up. This looks like the electric race cars used to do, the Circle 8 HO race cars, electric race cars, that slot cars. That's what that looks like to me, is a slot car track. This is pretty simple, but the pronunciation, Nagal Nagu is apparently pronounced Nyaw New. A lot of work for a snake. And then once again we come to the blue, which is a mid-consonant plate, jaw jan. That's simple. That was actually pretty easy, and once again that's a simple. So I have hopes that I could actually learn that one, because out of 9 so far, or 8 so far, that's simple. It's a simple drawing. It's a simple term. It's simple to say. It's mid on both. Let's see the straight line. So jaw, because we know AU is AW. So jaw, jan. Pretty simple. And like I said, it's like a soft A, just like we have a soft A, right? And then this one, symbols. And again, the sound of it, Shaw Shing, I could see that making sense. But when she said Shaw Shing for symbols, and once again, shing, ring, like the sound, like the bells, like it's going to help me remember. But when she said this, see the tones? That's that damn tone shit. She didn't say Shaw Shin like I did, Shaw Shin. She went, Shaw Shin. I'm 9 cards in, and I am seriously doubting my ability to learn this shit. But once again, I preach on this channel with the Positive Action Plan. Don't quit. Don't give up. Persist. I'm going to persist. I'm going to keep working these cards. The food ones I have, it's just memorization. Just, I learned Nua finally. And once again, I had looked at the word for beef before and just forgotten it because I wasn't reinforcing it and using it. But it's a pretty simple word, Nua. Nui works in our restaurant. Nua, Nui, work in the restaurant beef. I think I can remember Nua. I've added that now to Moo and Gai, chicken and pork, which I've had pretty much since the beginning, right? I learned Gai probably the first week I was here and remembered it for whatever reason. To me, that's simple. Chicken Gai, it's easy to pronounce. It's a mid-tone. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, doesn't start high, doesn't start low. It starts in the middle, ends in the middle. I can handle that as a foreigner, right? So I've added Nua and Pet. There's a DT sound. So pet is spicy. Ped, P-E-D-T, is duck. So when I was eating Thai dishes, getting ready to come over here, duck was actually my favorite thing to eat in the Thai restaurant in Jacksonville. So I have yet to have that here, and I don't know why. I imagine my choices in food will go up when I go to Chiang Mai, and I'll be able to find a place with duck. I had crispy duck in a soup, noodle soup, back in Jacksonville. It was one of the best things I ever ate. And I got into duck in a big way, like I said before I left. In the 3 months between when I visited here in November and when I came back in March, I ate duck quite a bit at the Thai restaurants in Jacksonville. Now, and it cost me $14 or $16 for a plate. Duck is expensive in America, and the prices there are ridiculous compared to here. So I'm actually looking forward to eating duck over here inexpensively, not $16 for sure. So let's do the math on that, 30 baht to $1. So $10 is 300 baht, and then $6 is 180 baht. So you're talking about 480 baht, almost 500 baht, half of that almighty 1,000 baht note that we talk about, which is a lot for one person for a meal. That's a lot. I'll be shocked if it costs 500 baht for duck here in Chiang Mai. We'll see. I know I can't find duck in Pai. Same old style. I won't even try because nobody's serving it for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with Pai and why they don't have stuff like that. Duck is pretty common in Thai cuisine. It's expensive, but it's common. I mean, they have beef here. They have lamb here. There's lamb in Pai. I didn't know that a year ago, and that's why I was buying it from Macro, but they actually do have lamb here. So why you don't have duck, I don't know. And maybe they have it in the really expensive place here in Pai, Reverie Siam, very high-end restaurant. And I haven't been there to eat. I had a business meeting there one time, but I haven't been there to eat. So I don't know. I didn't look at the menu. But yeah, that's how it's going with that's the update with the cards. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I mean, this to me is not intuitive. So I will keep at it. I need to learn the language. It makes sense to start with the alphabet, but that's what I'm dealing with, is what I just showed you guys. The pronunciation, the small variation in numbers that, when you see Thai writing, try to find something with Thai writing, a label on a pepper bottle, right? So would you be able to see those dips in that? I can't. I mean, and that's, everyday Thai writing is, you see stuff like that all the time. And I would not be able to tell if it has the little V thing in it, the difference between apparently remember I'm 9 in, so I'm sure I'm gonna see that dip more. Yeah, I mean, here we go, here's 2 different letters. Elephant, Shao, Sheng. So we just had Shaoxing symbols, Shaoxing, symbols, and then we have Shawshang, which is an elephant. But look at these 2 next cards. Elephant on the right. I mean, again, it's got the little dip right there. And that's the only difference between an elephant and a chain. Saw, not Shaw, but so. Shawshang. Difference is a little dip, which very hard to see when you write it. And look at the way they write it. instead of that, it's got just a straight. So where's the dip in the writing? Yeah, I can't see it on the small one. See if we can focus there. If we just look at the small one. Oh, see, they cross over. So the way they make the difference, because the loop is too small to see the divot in, they cross it over where this one's open. Wow. Like I said, I got my work cut out for me. So that's Thai Language 101. That's what preschoolers and kindergartners learn here in Thailand. Wow. Wow. So there you go. That's an update on me learning to speak a wonderful Thai language. And like I said, the alphabet is just going through this thing and pounding it into my head every friggin' day, reinforcing it. And the words are just memorization, just adding to my vocabulary. So there's two ways to learn a language, and I'm doing both at the same time. I'm learning the alphabet, learning to read and write, which will help me down the road, but also a lot of people say that will help you learn the language and the words. And I'm memorizing words, just memorizing vocabulary words. I'm doing both. So, wow. It is what it is. Learn it or die, right? And living in Chiang Mai, as I've said before, living in Pai, living in Chiang Mai, living in Bangkok, living in Phuket, living in Pattaya, living in Koh Samui, living in Koh Tang or Dang or one of those islands. It's all expats. Koh Tao, the one they call Death Island. You don't need to speak Thai. You really don't. There's so many tourist-based places still, even after COVID, that a big percentage of the population in those towns speaks English. But I want to learn to speak Thai. I'm going to live here the rest of my life. It's definitely a handy tool, a skill to have. And my memory is definitely not what it used to be, so it's going to be harder. And they have a lot more letters. The writing is indistinct and has all kinds of crazy shit, but no excuses. Buckle up, Buttercup, and get her done. So that's how it's going. 17 minutes on how much trouble I'm having learning the language. It is what it is. Want to be transparent in case you want to learn the language when you get here. Start studying now, and hopefully you're sharper in the brain than I am at this stage in my life, and because that makes it a lot easier when you have a good memory.